Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. It's also hashtag Tag Me Tuesday and we're going to make some vintage style collage tags. Here is an example of one that I have made and you can see that paper's shiny. It's not a digital that I have printed off. It came from a book. I'll show you that book in just a little bit. If some of you have been following me, you know that I've recently gutted my craft room and I have found a lot of scraps, and I thought, okay, we need to make a project for hashtag Tag Me Tuesday that everyone can find what they need or what they can use to make the project. We all have paper scraps, so this is a scrap buster. So I have my paper scraps, and what I have done is I've gone through my paper scraps and I've cut them in different types of rectangles and squares. So that's what I've done to prep my pages. Now my pages are printed on copy weight paper. I think these, all but the book page, I think are digitals. I do believe so. And there might be some coffee dyed copy paper. Oh, there's some lined book page in there. So there's an assortment of different things. And I just decided to use a copy weight paper that I coffee dyed. So this is going to be my base. I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Oh yes. I'm glad I got that shut off in time. All right, so what I'm using as my base, my glue, my base is my coffee weight, coffee dyed paper. My glue, I'm going to use my white school glue, and if this was an empty bottle, this much would be glue, this much would be water. I don't measure, you guys. No measuring, I don't measure. I also have a little container of water, and I have my flat brush inside. I was collaging last night so I could have a dried collage page for today's project. So let's bring in our pieces. Now, if you like to use a glue stick for doing this, then you use a glue stick. You use the type of glue and the way that you like to use it. That's all a personal choice. You don't have to use white school glue by any means of the stretch of the imagination. You use what you like to use. Okay, this is your project. So this is how I do it. I just put my glue on my page like that. I get my brush, and because it has water in here, I'm going to get as much water off as possible. And then I just spread out my glue like this, and I usually start in one of the corners. So spreading my glue out like this, and then I begin laying pieces down. So just selecting a piece and popping it on, and then I brush over the top. This is just the way in which I do it. If you do yours a different way, that's okay. You guys, I'm sure there's lots of different ways you can collage. This is just how I like to do collage. So I just continue, and it's kind of like a puzzle. You just put pieces. I like to look at the print of the paper and see what the print's looking like, the color, and I like to choose it because of the color factor and if it goes with the other pieces. Now sometimes I like to do very eclectic pieces, meaning they are all different colors, all kind of mixed up. I do find that I like to work with rectangles and squares. If you like to work with more random colors, more random pieces, like torn pieces, then I think that's beautiful too. It's whatever you would like to use, then that's what you need to collage. All your little pieces that, oh, we have so many of, don't we, guys? I can't seem to find what I want. Maybe that would be good. I'm going to put it this way. There we go. So we all know how to collage, right, guys? We don't really need to keep collaging. Although I have had quite a few people tell me that they love to watch collaging. They love to watch the process. So we'll do a little bit more. If that's not your thing, just fast forward until you get to the next part of this project. I know a lot of people love to collage. I don't mind collaging. It is like if you've lost your mojo, it is a wonderful thing to do to get it back. It's a wonderful thing to collage. I don't like the joint right there, so I'm going to add a piece of music right here because I didn't like how that joint looked. Okay. If I've lost my mojo, which it happens, but luckily not very often. It's just usually because I'm tired and just going to sleep and resting usually fixes my issue. But I know that some others really do struggle with crafting or continuing crafting. I'm struggling finding something I'd like to go in that spot. But as something that I want to just sit down and do, like I don't say, oh, I just want to sit down and collage for a while. That's not something I say to myself. But it's so nice to have these collage pages handy when you want to tag or a pocket. They're great for pockets too on a journal. Even though this is copy weight paper, the base, and then I am placing copy weight papers on the top, it turns out to be, once it dries, almost like cardstock, very much so. It definitely stiffens up. I didn't think there was any glue here, but maybe I was wrong. It stiffens up, and it's really quite lovely. I'm still not too sure how far I should go in collaging this on camera. We'll continue just a little bit longer because I do know a lot of people enjoy it. I don't even know how this one got pink. I think it's just the ink that, you know, the ink. I think that's how that got pink. I'm really not too sure. I don't remember what project I used that pink book page with. I'm digging out some more pages here just to see what I can find. Oh, I think that will fit right down here at the bottom. So my cleanup is, oh gosh, you guys, it's going so slow because I'm going through every single drawer, every single box. I'm going through all my lace pieces and putting them in bags and then putting them in a bigger container. It just needed a massive overhaul. It got to the point where I didn't really enjoy coming into my craft room because it was really, that's what was holding me up, and that's the one thing that will make me lose my mojo. There you go. After talking to you, I figured it out. It's having such a disastrous place to craft in. If you're having trouble getting a mojo or losing your mojo, look at your craft room. Is it absolutely, you know, difficult to work in because, you know, things have just gotten away with themselves? Because boy, oh boy, things really got away from themselves for me in my craft room. It's not quite wide enough, is it? It really, here's a piece of music strip. This will work. It really got away from me. And that was really, it was upsetting. And it was causing the flow not to go so well because I knew I had certain things. I couldn't find them. It was just, you know what I mean by can't find them? You couldn't find them. And I have found some of those things that I was looking for. And I have found them. I almost did a project today using, I couldn't find my stencils. Oh, they were way back in the back. They had been pushed back in the back, and I kind of lost track of where they were. And I was going to do a project with stencils and modeling paste, but I decided that's really not something that's good for a Tag Me Tuesday project, because not everyone's going to have those things. Not everyone's going to have modeling paste, and you can't participate if you don't have the things. So that's how I decided to do collaging as the base, because I know we all have scraps, and I'm pretty sure that we all need to use up some of our scraps. And so I thought, okay, well, that is a perfect project then. We will do some collaging and we'll use up some scraps. Now, this is my last piece I'm going to put on here, and then we're going to switch. So that is really turning out quite pretty, if I say so. I think that's going to be lovely. I will continue and I will finish collaging this, but I'm going to bring in one that I did last night. So this is the one that I made last night, so it would be dry this morning. I'll put this on the floor. And as you can see, it's very, very firm. It's quite lovely for either tag or a pocket or anything that you would want to use for, that would need to have cardstock. And what I want to do is I'm going to bring in my image that I've decided to use. Now these images I showed you in my example, the little ladies, I chose them. I wanted to use them. They're small. I have quite a few of them. They're small. They're only approximately 1.5 by 2.5. Yeah, they're small. And I just thought they were gorgeous. And they do have a little bit of a sheen on them because they came out of a book. And I'm going to show you what that book looks like. The image that you choose, if you're going to do it like I'm doing it, and just getting one item out, like, I don't know what to say, fussy cuts, flowers, magazine pictures. If you're going to use about one size, like this is all one size. This is different sizes, but I think that you could use one card for all of these. This one's kind of small. That's how I chose the side. There we go. There's that one. There's where I cut it off. That was a full page, and I cut them off. Aren't they all so sweet? It's really quite lovely. I purchased it a long time ago, and I lost it in my craft room. Oh, you guys. I lost it, and I just found it, And I decided, oh yeah, we're going to use this as part of our project. Now, if you don't have a book like this is the book, I bought it on Amazon. If you don't have a book like this, you guys, you can use magazine pages, you can use digitals, you could use fussy cuts, you can use lots of different things. This is just what I'm going to be using today. And they're the little ladies. And since the ladies are small, that's how I came up with just using a small, cutting my card to be smaller. And you know, sometimes when I'm decorating a journal, I need some smaller tags like this. Now, I have yet put any pearls on it. I think these little flowers would be really pretty to put some pearls in the center of them. So what I did was, this is once again 3 inches wide. So I know not everyone has a large guillotine. So I turned it like this and I lined it up on my grid. I got my ruler and I'm going to line it this way because it's on there. So 1, 2, 3, it's on this grid line. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to take my pencil, move it down just a tiny bit, really like that, and I'm just going to mark it just like that. And then I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do it again because I'm going to make mine all one size here. Oh, I'm not sure that's quite all right. Now the ones that are going to be over here, they're going to be a thinner one. They're not going to be as wide. They're only 2.5, but I could definitely use those later in another project. So this is going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to line this up and mark it at 4. Now I'm going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to mark this one at 4. There we go. Okay, and then after marking, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut them out. Okay, and this one. Right, and then here are our tags. All right, now, because I used a pencil to mark, you know, I just wanted to show how you can do it if you don't have a large guillotine. If you have a large guillotine, definitely pop that in and just pop them out real quick. But I know not everyone has a large guillotine. I'm going back through with my gum eraser. Gum erasers are, I'll hold this up so you can see. They are art gum erasers. My father just called them gum erasers, art gum. You can buy them in the art department. They are spectacular erasers. They are marvelous, marvelous. So if you have trouble with getting things erased because the erasers on the ends of the mechanical pencils or the standard size pencil just smears it all up, you need an art gum eraser. You purchase it in the art department. Okay, so I'm just going to brush all this off and I'll be right back. I'm going to clean up all this mess right here. Find my cursor here, guys. Oh, where did it go? I don't know where it went. Guys, I've lost my cursor. Well, I don't know where my cursor is. I'm going to have to find it. I'll never be able to end my video if I can't find it. I don't know what happened to my cursor. I'm seriously serious. It could be a problem. I don't see it yet. It hasn't shown up. Now, I have a little bottle. Might as well show you since it can't seem to pause you. I have a bottle of, there it is, there's my cursor, water and alcohol. And I'm just going to spray it onto my glass mat and wipe it down. And it's really nice. It cleans it up nicely. And using a spray bottle, it really goes a long ways. So having the alcohol, there's probably more alcohol than, let's see, let's get that bottle. I probably said it's probably half and half. Your water won't get algae in it or anything like that with that alcohol. All right, so bringing back our little pieces that we cut. Now these pieces I cut this morning when I made my tag, and they're very similar in color. This one has more pink solids in it. This one has more print. And I'm going to round my corners on the ones that we just made. And you also know that I'm going to be inking them. Now you don't need to see me do all of this and the inking. So now that I found my cursor, I'll be right back. All right, so I have them all inked up and the corners rounded. Now if you're having trouble with some of them bowing, I didn't have time to set a book on top of mine because I was allowing it to dry last night. But you can always just take a book and set it on top, and usually it does it even just overnight and they will be flat again. So let's go ahead and let's design. So I'm going to bring in my ladies. I'm going to bring in some labels. I'm going to bring in a few doilies. I thought some doilies would be really sweet to use. I'm trying to use things that all of you would be able to locate or have on hand yourself. And then I have some just little pieces of lace. So let's just start with the one on top. That'll be just fine. And you just decide which way you want it. I think I'd like it this way because it feels a little heavier with the flowers down here. And this lady has pink flowers in her hair. So, and I like her on this side as opposed to this side. I like how things look. I don't know if I can explain that to you. I like it with a little bit of this blue because it ties this in with this. Let's see, shall we put a little bit of blue doily behind her? I'm not sure how it will look, so let's try. You just have to try things and see if you like them, and if you do, use them. Well, I think that looks very sweet. The next thing I think I want to do is go ahead, and I'm going to move this out of the way so I have a little bit more room. I'm going to grab my, excuse me, my art glitter glue, and I'm going to glue my doily onto my picture with my lady. By doing so, I'm going to add my glue onto my picture, and I'm going to place my picture onto the doily the way I want it to be, about right there. And I'm just going to wipe that up. So now we've got our picture on our doily, our doily on our picture. Well, a picture on our doily will work too. Oh my. I think I'd like it maybe something like that. I just find it easier if it's all glued together. You're only trying to position one thing rather than putting the doily down and then figuring out if you put it down the right place. it just helps me a great deal if I combine the two together. And I'm going to keep that same line right on the top, and just even this up a little bit just so I make sure I'm not crooked. And then I'm just going to press it down. Well, that just looks lovely already, doesn't it? I love that. I've got this creamy kind of lace. It's very light feeling, and I think I want to just glue it right there on top. Now I am going to switch to my hot glue. It's quick, it's easy, it's really great for videos, guys. So that's why I use it when I glue it on. I don't have to worry about it coming off as we further decorate. Switching and grabbing some little tiny scissors. And there we are. Okay. Oh, it's already looking very Victorian, isn't it? This little lace here is really different. I know somebody knows exactly what it's called. I do not know what it's called, except for it's really pretty. And I would like to use a little bit of this right down here on the bottom. I think on the bottom. Maybe this time I want to use it on the top. Well, it sticks out a little better on the top, doesn't it? Where do I want to put this? Maybe I don't want to put it all the way across. Maybe just something like this to frame the picture a little bit. What happens if I turn it over and frame it this way? I think that's really nice. I'm going to cut it right here. What did I do with my scissors? I put them back. And all right, now I just don't know where to cut. After looking at it, it needs to be ironed. I think it would be easier to work with if I would iron it. I have not done that, but maybe after everything gets picked up, found a home, and I can do that. Right now, it's not on the top of my list to iron that. I think we can make it work here in this video without having to iron. So I'm just adding the glue on the, just here and there on this lace, just to get it down where I want it. And then I can always go back and glue it down further. I think I need to chop this right here. Oh goodness. Let's see, cut it right here, and cut it right here, and I'm going to cut this little flower out. Okay, now where did I not cut it? Right there. Okay. Now let's see if we can get this down. Oh, that's going to look just lovely. Just need to get this little flower down, just like this. I'm going to get that little flower petal up. There we go. Now I need to glue this right here down. There we are. Oh, that looks really sweet and very, very Victorian, right guys? So maybe all we need now is a label. And as I do this, I'm going to tell you what is hashtag Tag Me Tuesday. It's a Facebook group I have. I invite you all to join. Now to join, you will need to accept the rules of the group. And what are the rules of the group? The rules of the group are to be kind to everyone, and there's no selling on that platform. Doesn't mean you can't sell your stuff. It just means you can't sell your stuff on that platform. That's all that means. And you do need to accept the rules to join. I will not be able to accept your request if you don't say that you'll follow the rules. There is another question. You do not have to know the answer to that. It is hashtag Cathy Sewing Happiness. That is the other answer that you don't have to have. But anyway, I invite you all to join. The link is down below, And what you do there after you become a member is you make your version of the hashtag Cathy Sewing Happiness projects. This week it's this project. There are lots and lots of projects on the hashtag Cathy Sewing Happiness playlist. Please don't just show us what you're working on this week. Please stick with our projects because it is so interesting to see the exact same project made so many different ways. We get so many ideas, you guys, from looking at people's creative art that came from an idea and that blossom into some other type of idea. I find it so interesting. Our personalities just shine when we make our journals, our ephemera, and our pieces. You guys, I've so enjoyed being with you. I hope that you have enjoyed it too. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.